Okay, so one of the things that I do in one of my businesses is we've got so my girlfriend started up a business where she comes in and she'll see a property that looks like mad shit and she will strategically plan a way to be able to uplift it strategically. So not just do like a full renovation, 100 grand renovation, no. A strategic renovation to uplift the property, to get more equity in the property so the property's worth more. So you can take that money from that property and go and buy another one, build your property portfolio, but at the same time increase the rental yield that the property is getting. So in this case, this property that we're going to go to in a minute that I've already been to, it's getting $350. It was getting $350 a week. Now, the property is not in good condition at all. And they're going to be struggling to find someone. It's going to be all about cheap. And the problem when you have someone that's after cheap, they normally won't look after the property, and the property will get even worse. You attract the house will attract the owner for that type of house. So they want to spend money to get me in, which is probably going to cost about $1,200 to get me in to come into the property, but there's not going to be any value added. What's the point of getting me in instead of a cleaner? So this is people go, why would you care? Because I actually care. Like, if you want to spend money and you want to do this with money, that's fine. I'll take it. It's not a problem. But I won't take it without telling you that you're making the wrong decision. And if you choose to make it, you choose to make it. That's not that you're responsible for your own pocket. But my responsibility as a business owner and a woman in business is to make sure that my clients are making the right decision always. So it's either, because they were going to paint, which is probably going to cost about $3.5 to $4 grand. Probably 3.5. They're going to paint, so 3.5 to 4, and then they're going to get me, which is going to be like $1,000, $1,500. So say $4.5 grand. Now, $4,500. Why are you doing that for? Why are you spending $4,500? These people who are my long-term clients don't have $4,500 to flow. They actually need a holiday, to be honest. She's a hard-working mum, hard-working parents. So if there was going to be return on investment, spend the $4.5 grand all day. But if there's not, why are you spending it? It's not going to get you any more rent. It's not going to get you a better client. It's not going to get you a better tenant. You're just going to be outlaying that money for no reason. Now, they would either not do nothing, keep the rent at $350 and find someone that, give it a clean, spend $500, get it clean. Or they would see what money they can pull out of their property. Within 4 weeks, have the property instantly uplifted with a better tenant, probably adding an extra $100 a week on top. Like that. So, I want to go and see the property today and see. Smaller, hey?
Well, I've done mine long, so I hope I don't get... Oh, can I get that bit of...
She's fucking beautiful, eh? She does a fucking really good, eh?
Yeah. I've got them a bit longer than I used to do, so I'm like, they look hot.
But what colour did you get?
I'm worried about knocking them because I see you knock them, but I'm like, I'm not like you.
If I put my shoes on with my sneakers and my fingernail gets snapped inside the shoe.
You know what it was, Sam?
What?
She said she thinks it's because when she was doing them, you kept moving, and maybe it didn't set properly, like at the right spot. Maybe you slightly knocked it.
And then made like a little bit of a weak spot, like the form could have just moved slightly.
Well, why didn't you fucking tell me to sit still and shut the fuck up?
I didn't realise realise you was.
No, because she didn't realise. But she's saying maybe that's what happened if they broke that easily.
Yeah, that's right.
She wouldn't know that. She's just saying maybe that's what could have happened.
Maybe that's what happened.
Well, I can
Yes,
wipe
Dave.
my ass, Kim. I put my ass on my fingers on the toilet paper, wipe my ass, and it snapped off.
Come over whenever you're free. Just come over. I'll fix them.
Oh, babe, I'm fucking coming over. Don't worry about that. It's just about the time.
Wait, you have to redo them, don't you? You have to redo the thing. The
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to redo 1, 2, 3.
Just the ones.
half a hand.
Well, there's 3 on one hand, all the fingers that I wipe my ass with on one hand, and then on the other hand is the one that I stick my finger up, fuck you, on the other one.
So that was not saying stop saying fuck you to people.
When you're free, come over and just let me know. I'm still gonna get the kids from school later, but it's like come night time, whatever.
How come your fucking
just
kids are at school?
She left them at school. She left them at school.
Fuck me. All right. Well, Chris,
So
let
there's
me
like-
know.
Yeah, let me call you 5. Let me just leave Kim.
All right.
She's not sitting here watching me on the phone. And I'll call you back.
All right, babe.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Broke the mixer, then so those you can claim outright out of the rent.
Oh, that's why there's only a certain amount of money they can spend when they got it.
Because they can't, like, if they spend 20 grand renovating, they can't claim that back. They can't claim 20 grand back. They can only claim what was repaired.
Why is that?
The rest is improving the property. Because it's not, I don't know, it's just how the taxation office does it. Items that are directly repaired to that property for it to be rentable, they can claim. Because the tenant broke that and we fixed it. But when it's improvements, like you're choosing to put a new bathroom, you're choosing to change a bench top, that's improvements to the property. So it's depreciated. It's adding value to the property too. So it gets depreciated over time. And usually you can claim it for like 10 or 20 years.
Wow. Wow. God, property's much more difficult than I thought.
It's only because you're new to it. Once you understand it, like when Wilson first told me to do this model, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? It just took me time to get to know it, and I still learn more and more. Like the question you asked me, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know how quick you can refinance again. Like you can refinance once you've bought it. I don't know.
Who is the best people to talk to about this stuff? When you're looking at, like when you're about to start investing in property, and you, like, who is the best person to talk to make that plan? What is their job called?
Well, you'd be a mix between an accountant and then talking to a broker.
So you talk to your accountant first, not a financial planner?
Well, see, I haven't spoken to a planner. So you could, but the problem is just not spending money when you talk to a financial planner. But financial planner is more about looking at, okay, where's your like, what do you own? What's your assets now? What's your plan for the future? I want to own 5 properties. Okay, well, let's see how much money you need to make to do that. But you can also, I think, and a financial planner, I don't think guide you to where to buy, because I don't think they know that. So to be honest, I'm not sure. I don't know the extent of what a financial planner would do different. But for me, my accountant is also a broker. So when I'm ready, I'll go to him and go, listen, can you tell me how much money I can borrow?
Because what you were saying though, like that, like all of that, especially for someone like, well, I've never even heard about this, like that sounds like super, like you've got to be knowledgeable in this area to be able to give advice to this, no?
Oh, for sure. For sure. That's why when I speak to a client, I'm like, this is what my other clients do. This is something you should look at, but you need to speak to your broker to see what you can borrow. You need to go and get the bank to evaluate. I'm basically putting the idea in their head, but to put it all together, it's not me. I don't do that.
Yeah. But your accountant, can an accountant be an accountant? Like, I feel like you've almost got to be a property investor to be able to give advice, like an accountant that is a property investor to be able to give this type of advice. Like, how many accountants do you think would any accountant know this?
That's a good point. Probably an accountant that deals with property has property themselves and deals with a lot of, because each accountant would have their knowledge in certain areas. I don't think every accountant would be across the board on knowledge.
That's what I was thinking.
So it'd be more maybe a property accountant, someone who actually deals with a lot of investors and knows the strategies that investors sort of do to look at where the costings are. Let me think. This is why I always say to a client, you need to have the right team of professionals. You need to have the right real estate, the right PM, the right sales agent. You need to have a
I'm seeing that, babe. I'm really fucking seeing that. Like, I'm like, if my client didn't pay their property off, like, what 18-year-old property manager is going to tell them, like, say the property manager knows me and she loves me really well and she's like, oh yeah, Sam's amazing. Like, don't about me being amazing. Worry about strategically, are they getting back dollar for dollar on what they're paying? That half the people would be like, no. Like, who has the effort to do that? Like, I feel like, what team of professionals, have you ever met a team of professionals that know their shit like this?
Not really. Oh, the most I've had is I've had clients ring me and say their accountant told them to go buy another house. So it depends. If they're making good money, an accountant will be like, listen, you're going to pay a lot of tax, you should go buy another investment property. So an accountant will tell you that, but that's based on you already making good money. If you plan ahead that I want to build a portfolio, the only other thing is looking at property seminars. Like, there's a guy that's on my Facebook at the moment that does property seminars to how to build a portfolio. And it always streams down to an investor that's doing it for himself that now starts giving advice on how to do it, other people to do it. I don't actually believe there's I don't know a lot about financial planning and the extent that they go into. But I know Kieran's told me before that he's had clients where he's assessed their rent.
That knows their shit. How many accountants have I been to? Like, I don't know, I just feel like people just aren't really proactive anymore.
No. Well, that's when I get a client, that's why I do the rent roll. When I do the rent roll mining, I find those clients. Like your client you just saw, I would have found them, then I would have spoken to them, and I said, listen, I want to give you a free property consultation, and I'd go see them in person. I'd be like, okay, tell me about your property. Do you want an audit done? Yes, let's see what value's in there. That's when I answer those questions.
Gosh.
That's when I then go, okay, have you thought about doing this? Actually, no, I haven't. Let's look at it. You know what? This property here has potentially going to have 100 equity. What's your serviceability at the moment? Could you afford that? Let's talk to a broker. Let's see if we need to get you refinanced. I link all that at the moment. That's how I run. That's how I do it.
Wow.
So I say to them, okay, you guys need, is your accountant good? Yes. Okay. So we need the broker to come in first and tell us if refinancing you first, if they're getting a better interest rate. Once we do that, let's get the agent back in and get them to appraise it. And then what do you want to go from there? Is it to sell? Is it to rebrand?
Fucking crazy.
Yeah. That's where the more I do that, the more I've got to end up building the business into a property consulting business.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like if you really look at it, the bit I do now is just like half of it. The other half is actually how to look for the right property, how to all of that. Like, I'd love to build more experience in that. Or not even, I want to build a team who's got it. Like, I would have a buyer's agent within office. I would have even an accountant and a broker within my office.
Yeah,
All of that just goes straight to them. All right, do you have a broker? No? All right, I want to get you with these guys. But someone, because I refer people already. And it's like, fuck that. I refer people everywhere. And then half the time they fuck shit up. They give the client different information, which is not right. and it takes forever, and then I can't control the process, and it just fucking does my head in. Whereas if I had it in house, like I'd love to actually, you know, they maybe think of that. I'd love to look at what I need to do that, because I just get someone who I contract and work out what my licensing has to be around that, because I will then get
badly.
I'd have all those professionals that then I just go, all right, I'm going to call this guy from our accounting section department, and he's going to look at your finances, and then we're going to get this guy and then this guy, and it all links in with the renovation side, and I can control all of it, and I get a cut of all of it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love it. Because like you put the time in, like you put the time into finding the right people that know their shit. You know, that like
And that's the thing though, but to continue that relationship, I do it, but it's a lot of time. Like, I'm not a buyer's agent, so I go to the client, hey, do you want to, like, I've got the connection, so I go to the client, do you want me to get this buyer's agent? Yeah, or no. And then the buyer's agent doesn't have the same connection, so then they kind of don't close it. And I'm like, but I could have had my client buy 5 properties by now. Whereas if I managed the whole process, it'd be a fucking different story.
Yeah.
Because then I just take it all in-house. So it's like, hey, all right, I'm going to call you this department to call you now. And it's basically walking an investor through start to finish, except for selling and renting. We don't do that part. But everything around the...
but I wouldn't even think it's a bad idea. Can you imagine if we had a real estate agent that we work with solely? Oh, the type of agent that we would work with?
Yeah, the problem with that, if you're just with one agent, where's all your volume coming in from? You're basing it on that agent getting enough clients.
What do you mean?
Well, if you say you work with one agent, or you do that, you work with
like some really good ones, but even if we were to have like one agent in one area, you're like, it doesn't matter, like we would all be under the same banner anyways, like property consulting group, whatever it is. But like the quality of that, because the quality of people that we are, like even down to the fucking cleaner, down to the plumber, down to the handyman, like that would be a lot of work to get them in, like to get good ones in. But fuck, like, oh my gosh, I'm just thinking of it in my mind now, because this is like this one thing, like there is, like I walk into properties and I see this situation happen, especially seeing people selling, and they're like they've already got the agent, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't even do anything about it. Like this property the other day they sold. Oh my, it was a beautiful property. Like the clients that I have had sold their property for $820 to $850. I went to this property. They did sell it because of coronavirus, but it was to an investment and a low paying people. But they sold for $670,650. And it was a beautiful home in Gledwood Hills. But
and another one that was the same was sold for $820.
Yeah. All day. Or it literally. And this guy is a broker himself. But he's like, look, with coronavirus, and I'm like, look, with coronavirus, like if you look at what's actually happening, people are stuck in their homes. There are people that are working from home that actually have mad money. Do you know that the furniture shops are selling furniture so fast? Do you know they've been busier than they've ever been in years? Why are they busier? Because people are sitting in their shitty homes and hating it.
Yeah.
It's killing their life.
Wow.
So you look at like people that want to sell, that want to sell and then buy the home they actually want to live in. Like, and I said to him, your home would have been an emotional sale. It would have went to a family that actually wants to buy a property to live in, which means they will pay more because they're emotionally driven. But his agent never told him that, Carissa. His agent's like, you're right, it's been on the market for 7 days. The property, it was a good, just so well built, but they sold to an investor. Like, it burns me. I'm like, and this guy, he's just bought a block of land and he's building his dream home. What would an extra $100,000 have fucking done to his life?
Yeah.
Come on, man. And you know what he did when he sold it? He got me in to fucking detail it.
Oh.
I said to him, listen, we're just going to we'll do a $700 clean because this is like, you definitely